What's going on, guys? JPB2 here. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And for today's matchup, we have an Adventurous Pranks versus a branded Despia, with my opponent playing branded Despia going first. Now, before I begin the replay, I would like to apologize for not being able to upload a video yesterday with the commentary. It was just a gameplay video. It was because I could not talk at all yesterday. My throat was extremely sore. Thankfully, around afternoon yesterday, my throat started to heal up. I got my voice back, as you guys can tell from now, and fever's gone, and we are good to go. Now, before, again, the replay begins, if you guys are wondering why I have this specific card in my hand when I'm playing Prank Kids, no, this is not some secret sauce, okay? This was a card my viewers made me play as a punishment for me. Like, usually when I stream, you guys can redeem your channel points to make me add cards to my main deck list and make me play those in my ranked matches. This was one of those situations. Also, another thing, when I'm saying that this opponent is playing a branded Shaddoll, I'm actually oversimplifying things. This guy was playing 3 separate engines. He had Spellbook, he had Shaddolls, and he had branded Despia, plus the Adventure engine on his deck list. He was playing a 60 cards deck list. So let's get on with the replay. Opponent activates the Meltdown to search for a Alistair. Then he activates the Alistair. Obviously, we do not want him searching for the Invocation. Now, when I was going into this game, when I see the Magical Meltdown activation to search for the Alistair, the first thing that pops into our head is that this guy is playing the Invoked Shaddoll version with maybe a branded engine in there. But no, you guys will see what I mean by he's playing a bunch of different engines in one same deck. So we imperm out the Alistair, which goes through, thankfully. So no Invocation in his hand. Thankfully, this guy did not hard draw into Invocation. So that way, it allows me to make more plays. It opens up more plays on my side. Then he activates the Spellbook of Knowledge. As I'm telling you guys, this guy was playing a bunch of engines in the same deck. Then he activates a branded opening. Now, I probably should have max-C'd him before he activated the Spellbook of Knowledge, or chained my maxi to the Spellbook of Knowledge, because in case this guy draws 2 cards with this card's activation, maybe or maybe not he could have had Ash Blossom in his hand, or maybe he drew Ash Blossom with the Spellbook of Knowledge. So this maxi does end up getting Ash Blossom. So maybe I should have chained my maxi to this, because again, drawing 2 cards means that if he's running a bunch of engines, maybe he could have drawn into a card. But again, I was playing greedy. I did not want to waste my maxi without, knowing my opponent is even going to do something on his turn, because he already wasted his normal summon on the Alistair that he put on the field in the beginning of the turn. That's the reason why I was hesitant about the maxi. But sadly, it does get Ash Blossom. He gets the Aluber on the field with the opening. He gets the branded Fusion Surge. He activates the Allure of Darkness. He gets Viper Patchwork as well, so just for Poly plus the Chain. Then he's going to be activating the Poly from his hand. This is all he's doing is because he wants to try to play around Ash Blossom, because again, if he activates branded Fusion from his hand, if he Ash Blossom the branded Fusion, he's just trying to go through different checkpoints in case their opponent is stupid and they Ash Blossom one of their checkpoints. They're useless cards going towards the branded Fusion. So he goes into Masquerade the Tax Dragon, he activates Chain, searches for a Viper Patchwork for the next turn, and then at the end of all of this, he activates branded Fusion. Branded Fusion goes into Rebellion. He's going to be activating Rebellion. Obviously, you guys know what the play is going to be. He's going to be pitching a card, chain blocking with the Tragedy that he put in the graveyard through the Rebellion's active. Through going into Rebellion, searches for the Ab Libitum to go into Mirror Jade on my turn if he so chose to do so. Goes off into Mirror Jade. He's going to be activating a Pot of D as well. So I don't know if you guys are counting. This guy has drawn so many cards by now. He activated so many draw engines so far when he is comboing. So it's actually pretty ridiculous. Like, he has 14 cards in graveyard, 11 in banishment pile, like 1 being from the pot of, I believe, D, and he's left with 31 cards. 60 cards, he's left with 31 cards now. That's on one single turn. So at the end, he ends his turn. So what he did not do is that he did not set down a branded in red. He could have activated the Mirror Jade, banished Mirror Jade itself to set down branded in red by pitching the Albion. I don't know if he wanted to do that or if he did not want to do that. but I did check his deck list after I was done with the gameplay, and he was playing the full branded engine with the Alpion, with the branded in red, so he could have done that. But the opponent specifically chose not to do it. He just ends his turn with this and passes. Now I draw into my Griffin. Let's see how I can push past this board with these cards I have in my hand. This card being a completely useless card. Again, it is for the punishment. I do not play this in my original deck list, okay? Do not take this card as an original deck list card. So let me know in the comment section below. I will be able to push past everything that this guy has to throw at me with the current hand that I have. And let's see how we do that. Now this Griffin Rider draw was pretty insane at this point, because we already went through our Imperm. Maxi would have been useless, Ash Blossom would have been useless, Forbidden Droplet would have been a good draw, but again, Griffin is actually a pretty good draw. So we activate our Foolish Burial to Foolish Burial the Enchantress. No Ash Blossom, nothing, we are good. We're going to banish out the Enchantress to search for our right. No Ash Blossom on this part, we are still good. So we activate the right, and once the right goes through, we're going to activate the Griffin from our hand as well. So this means that if he now wants to activate the Mirror Jade on the field, we can use the Griffin Omni to negate the activation of the Mirror Jade, and that card just goes away. Granted, we are going to be destroying that card with the Griffin Negate, so that means since this is an original card summoned with the Rebellion, not through the ad libitum from the banishment pile onto the field, if this card is destroyed, all my monsters that I control will be destroyed at the end of my turn, right? This is an original summon, it's not from ad libitum. So we know if this card is destroyed, it'll destroy our own cards at the end of our turn as well. So with this, once I chain my Griffin to that, I don't know what my opponent was thinking. Again, this is a, I believe, Diamond 5 gameplay. He activates Mirror Jade. This Mirror Jade is a Chain Link 3 activation, meaning that on resolution, the Mirror Jade is the first thing that resolves. I will not have anything on the field to banish. He will be forced to banish one of his own monsters. He does not have Branded in Red set on the field anywhere, so he cannot activate Branded in Red, go into Mirror Jade again to get another banish off the field. That's like the most useless play this guy could have done. If he had just kept the Mirror Jade on the field, allowed the Griffin to negate it, my whole field would have been popped, as I told you guys before. So now we have an Omni Negate on the field plus a token, and we will be getting a bounce as well. So I'm going to be activating my Pranket's Place. As you guys see, I have no combo starter card in my hand. And I don't know if this guy was stream sniping me or not, but he decided I am going to randomly Ash Blossom the Pranket's Place search. Now usually when you are playing games, your opponent, or if you are playing as a Pranket's player, you do not want to ever Ash Blossom the Pranket's Place search. That is a big waste of Ash Blossom. And if they have another combo starter card in their hand, they just use that card, go into their full combo, and you're just sitting there thinking, why did I waste my Ash Blossom when I could have Ash Blossomed the first graveyard activation? Granted, this Pranket's Place would give me protection from the Ash Blossom on my first graveyard activation, but we already have protection from it anyways. We have the protection from the Fateful Adventure, search for Dracoback. So again, I was not too sure if this guy was stream sniping me. Anyways, so the Ash Blossom I have to negate. If I want to go into combo, I have to negate that. So we use the Griffin Omni, negate out the Ash Blossom. So Tax Dragon hits me for 600k, 600 more damage. We search for our Dropsy, we start going into our combo. Now over here I thought, since this guy does have a monster on the field and he already wasted his Ash Blossom, I do not need a chain block to cover up my first graveyard activation itself. And I do want to burn for less. So I decided on my normal summon of Dropsies, I'm going to be searching for my Dracoback. Then I activate Dracoback, and I'm going to be attaching my Dracoback to my token after I get my search for Griffin. So the reason why we are searching for Griffin right now is because even though we activated Griffin this turn itself, once our turn passes, because we know I cannot kill the opponent this turn itself. Once the turn passes over, I can use the Griffin, put it on the field on the opponent's turn, thus granting me another Omni on the field on my opponent's turn. So since we get the Dracoback, we pitch the Dracoback, we get the Griffin in our hand, and using the Dracoback, we bounce out the Tax Dragon. Now guys, this is an extremely crucial thing to keep in mind. If ever your opponent has a fusion monster on the field and they're playing Despia and they have a looper in the graveyard, if that fusion monster is touched in any way, bounced or destroyed through battle or anything, this Aluber does come on the field from the graveyard and it's going to come on the field and negate one monster on your side. So you have to keep this in the back of your head, that there is an Aluber in the graveyard, because if you keep comboing and you use your access code to pop your opponent's fusion and an Aluber comes on the field, Aluber will end up negating your access code, which will make it so that you cannot lethal your opponent. So you have to keep this in the back of your head whenever you're playing against Despia players or anyone who uses the Aluber card. So we start going into our own combo. I'm going to fast forward the combo. We're going to chain block since he doesn't have a monster on the field again. We are safe from axe block, so we go into chain block again, search for our Franket's Pranks. We pitch our Pandemonium, go into Lamseys. We're going to tribute the Doodle-Doo, get our 2 cards along with Pandemonium into our hand. It's a standard 1-card combo, and we do have Banish Fodder in our hand, which is the Winged Karibo, which I will be banishing with the Roxy's activation from the graveyard. So we go up into our Bow Wow Bark, we activate the Roxy's from the graveyard, we banish out the Winged Karibo, and I draw into one of the most significant card in my deck that allows me to just completely destroy this guy, which is the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. So Shadow Imprisoning Mirror will be negating all the dark monster activated on the field or in the graveyard. So I end my turn with that, go into battle phase, whack, kill up the Aluber, whack in face for 2k with the Bow Wow. End turn, we recycle with our pranks. I even end up drawing into a DD Crow. Now that's an insane draw. I could have activated DD Crow before my turn ended to banish out the Albion if I so chose to do so, but I did not care about it. I have an Omni Negate coming up, I have Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, I will still have DD Crow I can use on the opponent's turn as well. So why waste it right now? So Albion search for a Branded in red. That's the pass over to the opponent's turn. Let's see what the opponent does now. He activates the Spellbook of Judgment, to which we chain our Bow Wow Bark to activate Tribute itself, target the 2 cards we need for the Butler combo added to our hand. Again, as I'm telling you guys this, he was playing a bunch of different engines mashed up into one single deck, and see how it worked out. So the Tragedy Banish, that's not going to work out. The Tragedy still, even though it banishes itself, it is still activating from the graveyard. So Shadow Imprisoning Mirror chaining to the activation of the Tragedy still negates the Tragedy. So we have this activation coming up. He chains his Branded opening to that, and he targets, I believe, what was it? The Aluber in the graveyard, to which we just DD Crow the Aluber, and that's not going to work out. And after that, I even chain my Griffin and put my Griffin on the field as well. The chain resolves. We have our Omni coming up. I still have my Butler play as well, and Shadow Imprisoning Mirror would have killed my opponent completely as well. Seeing this, my opponent just outright scoops the game, and that's it. That's it for today's game, guys. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank and video uploads. If you guys are interested in the live version of all this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jppduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPPduel signing off for today. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace!